Nero taught himself how to train and condition his daughter to protect herself with the sweet science of boxing. Nothing says I love you more than a dad arming his daughter with the ability to protect herself efficiently from the lack of his presence. So I'd like to welcome to our show today our good brother Nero. How's it going today, my brother?
Everything is blessed. How you doing today?
Everything is blessed. Everything is blessed. I got another day with breath in my lungs. So you know, my saying is, I got another chance to win.
Amen. And, I appreciate the opportunity for y'all allowing me to join the podcast as well. Many blessings. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate having you on because, you know, as we discussed yesterday in our conversation, you know, you have been, you know, a lot of times, even outside of you, like I have certain people that they're inspirations to me that they don't even know that they've inspired me, you know. Right. So that was one of the main reasons why we wanted to bring you on is because you have such an inspiration. You have such an inspirational approach to your fatherhood.
Right.
You know, absolutely, absolutely. You have a ministry behind your message. You know, what you're doing, you know, you have been ordained and called to do, you know, because there's many people who have grabbed pads and there's many people who have, you know, sat down with the coaches and the trainers and it didn't connect because it wasn't in them. You know,
Right.
it was on them, but it wasn't in them, you know, and it's clearly from watching your videos and having conversation with you and seeing where your mind is at the why behind it is very clear that this is your calling. Well, one of your callings, because you are definitely a multifaceted individual.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's a humbling experience for me. You know, my job at all times is just to give all praise and glory to the Most High for allowing me to have the ability to be gifted and the blessings that He allowed me to receive. And it's just important to always be honorable and humble to Him first and to count every blessing that He has in store for me. So, you know, I'm in a privileged position. I don't let it get to my head. I don't take any of these things for granted. And you know, I'm just looking forward like later down the line if it's possible and I have the time to just help all the young from females to males for free to just give them opportunity to learn how to protect themselves and defend themselves. I don't want any money, especially, you know, when it comes to helping out our people. Sure.
Right. And because when you're a prophet, you know, a prophet is not looking for profit.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, you came, you were sent with on a you know, on a mission, you know. And I was actually going to ask you about that, you know, outside of your children, you know, at some point were you planning on expanding and taking on, you know, training other people's children as well, you know, but you definitely just answered that as you just said, you know, at some point you're looking to, you know, take on the responsibility of adding more. But let me add, let's get a better understanding of your foundation, though, Nero, that has gotten you here to this point, right?
Right.
Okay, so based on my homework, I have come to find that you were a very dangerous battle rapper.
Oh, yeah.
What is the origin behind the battle rap, and can you kind of expand on how it all began for you?
Well, I, I I just turned 33 this year, but I always had a gift far as how I speak and far as how words come to my mind. I was just always blessed with a special ability to put words and rhymes together. And I started actually. I'm 33 now, but I started at the age of 5. I really put the pen to the pad in my high school years. So I wouldn't say I was a late bloomer, but compared to 5, and then you start writing when you hit high school, it's kind of like it's like in the middle of to my age now. Like I started a little late, but ever since I started that in high school, I just been elite from day one. And I have a technique, and I'm gonna reveal my secret of why I was so nice at what I do. Aside my blessings, I would every time I write a 16, I would take my time with it, and I'll take an hour to just write 16 bars. But
Mm.
yeah, because I'm very careful and not wanting to
You're
sound repetitive.
meticulous, yeah.
Absolutely. So what I do is I put on Eminem, I put on Nas, I put on Big, I put on Jay, I put on Banks, I put on Kiss, Styles, Beats,
All the masterpiece wordsmiths.
right, absolutely. And I battle those guys.
Mm.
I act like they're in my presence, and I'll take maybe a whole song or 4 freestyles that they, and I'll study it. I'll be patient with what I'm gonna say, and I act like they right in my face, and after I challenge them, you know what I mean, a visible form of them. It just gets me better. It's like my preparation for anybody else that I have to battle for real, or for any verse that I have to perform in the studio to produce a
Mm.
mixtape. And
And I can hear it, and I can hear it. It's funny you say that because a friend of mine, he used to kind of do something similar where before he would put out a verse or he would put out a song, he would
right,
like run it through the wash of, well, what would Nas do on this beat? What
right,
would what
right,
would what would Big L do on this beat? And if
right.
what you heard in your head doesn't sound better than what you put on your paper don't sound better than what you thought that they could put onto that beat, then you got more work to do. You know,
Absolutely,
you got more
absolutely.
work to do because you didn't push the pin hard enough.
Right, right. I was taught real young. One of my guys, shout out to my boy Winnie. I haven't seen him in years, but he taught me. He gave me a very epic jewel that I never let go. He said that you, the greatest rhyme that you have to produce is the one you never wrote, and I
Mm,
stuck with that. Meaning,
mm,
meaning, meaning, make sure that the rhyme that you wrote and performed in that cipher is a classic, but your next rhyme better come twice as hard. So I never let that do go.
mm.
And to this day, I teach a lot of people that as well that want to be nice as far as their wordplay, or as far as producing any type of 16 or 24, 34 cipher, any day of that nature. I just always hit them like the greatest rhyme to produce is the one you never wrote. So shout out to my man Wendy for that.
And shout out to him for that jewel because that's something to take with you. Every time that you come, you gotta evolve each time. They should be able to hear the evolution every single time they hear you. So Nero, my next question is, who is your favorite battle rapper of all time?
A favorite? Well, I have to name more than one. If that's
Okay,
if
okay,
that's
that's fine. That's fine. Let me get you three.
that's fair. I'm gonna start off with Murder Mook. My second is definitely Loaded Lux.
Beloved.
It's like a Pac and Big situation. Not lyrically on that far as similarities in caliber. I'm just saying like
To the
far
height
as the
the
height, right?
game. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah, yeah, for
absolutely,
sure.
right. And if I want to go with how could I put it? If I want to go with not looking for lyrics, but I'm looking for somebody that I believe, I like Head Ice a lot. Head Ice are goods, hands down. Hands down.
Head Ice, bro. You know what? A lot of people don't even know. I feel like Head Ice is super underrated. Super
Absolutely.
underrated. You know,
Absolutely.
he is one of the most talented. I mean, and he goes way back. Like this, like he goes back to like when like Lux and Mook were like kids. You know,
Absolutely.
like yeah. So he's very footed in the battle rap arena. You know, one of mine, like we spoke about was Sue. You know, Sue Surf was one of my favorites. You know,
Sure.
his level of intensity, like he just make you feel him. You cannot listen to Sue Surf and not feel him.
Right. And you can't deny his gift. And not to interrupt, respectfully, I'm from Jersey City, so I'm right across the bridge. But the question was who were my favorite. But if I have to do a 10 list, Sue Surf definitely being there because of his intelligence, because
Mhm.
of his wittiness, his cadence, um,
Mhm.
and of course Arsenal because boss's business state of mind, and for him to own a battle league, and for him to come in and evolve as a not just a lyricist, to put his people on and to put New Jersey on, hands down Arsenal. Shout out to New Jersey Twerk, another talented artist, talented
Mhm.
battle rapper, and shout out to also O Red, the whole Jersey movement for sure. I would never
Jer-
leave them out.
Jersey always came hard though. I mean, you guys have a historical you guys have a historical account of legendary artists and rap rhymers and rappers that have come out of Jersey. You know, I mean, one of my favorites of all time is Redman. You
For
know,
sure.
one of my favorites of all time, and I still feel like his pen can't be touched to this day. Like you know, like he's still gonna come out with something that's gonna make you go, "Oh shit, I didn't think about that," or "How did he put that together? That was kind of slick," you know. So
Right.
Jersey has definitely always been rich with that. Do you still battle rap, or is that something that like is something that you kind of you've moved forward from that since that time?
No, I'm always available to do so. One thing with me, far as with the rapping, like I made myself inconsistent because it is the passion that I have for it. Sometimes it gets me emotional because I'm from Jersey City, so the city's not but so big, and it's a lot of favoritism. Like I feel like what I produce is so it overshadows, you know, a lot of people's talent because they're not on that level. So sometimes I get looked at, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll get looked at like I'm saying too much or I'm doing too much because they didn't reach that type of caliber as far as their lyrics. So everybody wants to sound like they're from Chicago or sound like they're from the South, and far as or everybody's singing now. You know what I'm saying?
Correct,
It's like
correct, correct.
if I want to hear a song, I put on Keith Sweat. I put it on Tory Lane. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's because of where I'm from and the city being big. I'm writing. I'm always prepared, but I don't chase or pursue it because I lose the hunger and the drive for it due to the fact it's lack of competition.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Right.
Definitely.
And like I said, it's so much favoritism, meaning if I was to rap with somebody out here, the track wouldn't come out because they'll be scared of, the response as far as what I can do. Or if I was to rap after the person that I do the feature with, they probably wouldn't want to hear it because the person is not of that caliber. So it's you know what I'm saying?
I do,
It's
I
like
do, I do,
right.
and from what I heard from you, it's an intimidation factor there as well. One hundred
Thank
percent,
you.
one hundred
Thank
percent an intimidation factor because it's almost like you ever heard that line that Max B said back in the day. He was like, you know, when you the guy that got all the style and you get all the girls, they don't never want you in the front anyway. You know,
you.
so
Shout out to love and
shout out.
brother.
Shout out to the wave guard.
Hey, listen, a lot of people took that man's style. That Max is actually in my top. I have so many rappers and favorite MCs, but Max will always be at least dead or alive, and there's a lot of rappers at least dead or alive top 20, man, for sure.
See, Nero. When people talk about like people talk about rap Mount Rushmores, right? Like who is the face of the rap Mount Rushmore? But see, what I have my thing is this: there's different tiers of that Rushmore. You
Definitely.
know, there's different tiers of that. You just can't choose 5 people and just say this is the universal most influential of the whole thing. Because Max B definitely was one of the most influential artists that ever came into the industry. You got people right now who are still making that are still getting bags off of his style.
Absolutely. That even the word wavy.
No one was using that
That
before. No one was using that.
right. And when you think of wavy, you think of, if not Max, you think of Harlem, hands down. And it's like, I don't want to sound disrespectful when I say this. It's like G Herbo, you know what I mean, from Chicago. I respect him. I love what he does, and I hope his situation gets better because he's incarcerated. From
Right,
what
right.
right, many blessings to him
Shout out to Herbo. Much blessings to you.
for sure. But when I hear him say G Fazos and he wearing the pair of Air Forces, I'm like, yo, those uptowns. You know what I'm saying? So, but I get it though. I get it. They're more young. A lot of people jump into something they're great at, but don't do their full blown history.
Correct. They don't do the homework.
Right. So I just think that we have to be careful as a whole and as a collective to study the game before we claim anything in the game. You
This is
have to
true.
pay homage. You
This is
have to
true.
pay right, and sometimes you have to pay homage to somebody that lived foul. Like for example, I hate what R. Kelly did. I hate what he did.
It's
What he's
likewise.
and what he's accused of. But I'm gonna
Correct.
tell you
Correct.
something now. He's a musical genius, and I can't name over 10 people guaranteed that I know is better than R. Kelly as a whole. I can't.
I can't either, and that's why it's so unfortunate that he decided to take the route that he took. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because he's somebody where like he should have been immortalized. You know,
Right.
as far as the culture of black music, his contributions, should have been immortalized, but he canceled all that out. So it's
Decisions, right.
with
Exactly.
your decisions. But yeah, speaking on what you're saying, speaking onto your point, it's it's like a thing where we don't even realize it. Like I've had this conversation recently. We didn't realize that we became the old heads.
Right.
Like so,
Yeah.
like so, like when you see these guys, these young cats now, and they like, oh, smoke a wood and rolling up a wood, and bro, just between me and you just said you 33 or 33, right?
Turn
How
33,
long?
right.
How long has Backwoods been around?
Man, I remember that's probably 2-3 years ago, man. From when from the word, I know how long it's been around, but I'm talking about as far as the word. We used to call it something different. You know what I mean? People like
Well, I'm saying, but you seen Backwoods in the '90s, didn't you?
exactly, for sure.
You know,
I answered the question wrong. I meant to say I heard the title about 2-3 years ago, but backwards been wrong. They used to call them woolies back in the day. Even Biggie said it. Oh,
uh, uh, uh.
get the woolies, or you know what I'm saying. So it was different titles, but
Correct,
they've been
correct,
around
correct.
for sure.
Correct. So yeah, so I was just saying that what happens is that through time, what will happen is that something already started before, and then as the new generation comes about, or after a few generations, it'll be a resurgence of that again, and then they will like in a sense present it as if they started it. It's always important to show the respect, not just about backwards. We're not talking about that, but we talk about music. Anybody who came before you that influenced the style or pushed the culture forward, don't act like it started with you. It's always respectful to tip your hat, when tipping your hat is due. So the next question is, you mentioned that you grew up in Jersey City. What was it like growing up in Jersey City?
Well, Jersey City is diverse. It has its rough areas, and it has its mellow areas, and it has its beautiful areas. It's like any other city is a little smaller. We right across the water from the Big Apple. Like right, literally, like it's not even 15 minutes.
Mm.
For me, I wouldn't call it tough. You know what I'm saying? I just say that I was tough in my environment. You know what I mean? The way I was moving was tough, and as I've grown up, it's just got worse. As far as my area, it's just got worse. But I was always able to. I was blessed to always adapt to my environment or any environment that I've experienced.
And because they is it true that they mentioned like Jersey City being like the car theft capital of the world and stuff like that? Is there some truth to that? Like, are cars not safe out there? There's a stereotype that Jersey has a stereotype for being the car theft capital of the world. Is there any truth to that? Like, are cars unsafe out there?
Well, not to rat, but if you let's just let's just say well it's documented. So Newark, New Jersey, they did it. Put it this way, they did a movie on Newark, New Jersey,
Jersey
um,
Drive.
New Jersey Drive, right? And now, like I said, not to rat. I think Chicago's taking that over. But
Okay.
it's documented. You'll be able to research that. So it's not like I was there and I say, yo, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is not as per our account. This is just what's on file. Just what's on
Right.
file.
It's all foul. It's all foul. Right. But Jersey did at the time had a, a a mean reputation. They even did a classic movie called New Jersey Drive, which was still to this day one of my favorite movies. Even though they shot in New York, shot in Queens, I don't know why they did that, but it is what it is. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was his name? Michael Faison or something like that. Yeah, he was in there too.
It's crazy, and I don't want to be disrespectful, man. I forgot a couple of the actors' names. I definitely know them by face because some of them are still active to this day.
You know, for one, I've always had family out in Jersey. But what I took away from that is that it kind of like it matched the vibe that you get out there because Jersey is a fast paced place. Like people think New York City is fast, but things happen like that out there. Like
Yeah,
yeah, things happen in less than a New York minute in Jersey. So yeah. All right, so so
it,
let's
it's,
go ahead.
it's totally not to interrupt you. It's Newark, especially Newark, far as murders, right? Not to talk negative, is they actually put it over Chicago far as population ratio. So it's definitely you have to look both ways. But by me being from the Jersey City area, me knowing how to move and me establishing a history and a reputation, for both positive and negative, I was always well respected. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have to really deal with. I will always be aware, but I wouldn't really have to deal with a lot of the evil dynamics because of my reputation. So I was blessed and fortunate.
And which that precedes you. Did your love for boxing begin with your knowledge of the training that you started with your daughter, or are there any other fighters in your family?
Oh, what's crazy? My father, I didn't know him too well before he passed, but um, I heard great stories about my father. My wife's father was epic, but that's her
Mm.
family.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I would say honestly, it's not really too much of a mean history that I remember. Excuse me, that I remember or that I are aware that I excuse me that I'm aware of. So only my pops really.
Okay, okay. And aside from the aspect of the protection, what is your goal? Well, for one, let's start here. Um, so you have videos that you have posted where you're training with your daughter, and I mean, her hands are so lethal that, I mean, I'm pretty sure her hands are going to be licensed pretty soon. You know, where did that begin for you? How did you get started?
Well, actually, one day I was sitting down. I saw I was just scrolling through YouTube, and it was a young Russian lady. And not to be disrespectful, I wrote her name down. I forgot her name, but she inspired me as far as the boxing because I saw her punching a tree in the woods, and she was knocking,
She was knocking wood off the tree.
she was knocking the wood off of it. So from there, I said, man, listen, I'm a heavy believer in the Bible, and from what I was taught from the Bible is that our people are the chosen and the original people. So I said, if this beautiful young lady could get busy like that, let me see what I could do with my daughter.
Mm,
And I took it from there, respectfully. Not to say that
absolutely.
we're more superior or dominant. I'm just going off, you know,
If
what
she
I've
can do that with hers, I can do that with mine.
absolutely. And I started at a younger age. I started her at 4, going on 5 in 1 month, and to this day we have 2.5 years and doing it so far without a gym, without a pro trainer. I've been to a gym. Shout out to, matter of fact, to CJ Boys for sure. They located in Best Side, Brooklyn. My
Nice.
my boy Coach CJ. And shout out to his movement. We've been once, and I plan on soon and being consistent as far as what he does and what he produces. But all praise and glory to the Most High. He gave us the ability and the gift.
All praises due. And I want to definitely say salute, definitely all praises to the Most High, and also salute to you as well, brother, because like I had mentioned, that is the true definition of protecting Black women, protecting our women in general. There's, when I started off the show, there's nothing more that says I love you than giving and then arming your daughter with the ability to protect herself in the lack of your presence. Because that's something that she can take with her for the rest of her life, and she'll never forget where it came from. My dad taught me how to do this. I think that's so inspirational. So, how old is she? And you said she's been training for since 4. So, how old is she now?
Thank you. You hear me good?
Oh yeah, you was breaking up for us. You was breaking up there.
Right. You got.
Yeah, we good now. We good.
All right. Yeah, yeah. You said how old is she, right? And what was
Yeah,
the other
how old
question?
is? No, I said you had mentioned that she had started at 4. I was going to ask when did she begin training, but you answered that question already. So how old is she now?
Oh, she just turned 7 on January 9th. So that makes
Wow,
it
7.
so right, right. So it's been 2.5 years. That we've been doing this for 2.5 years, and already speed, defense, blindfolded, walks. Everything is it happened out of nowhere, man. All praise to the Most High again, man. If it wasn't for him, I don't see where she could have been at in this. I'm just glad that I didn't run into her at the age of 7 and ran my mouth. You know
Right,
what I'm
because she
saying?
because she would have had your lunch money.
Oh, she had the whole house, man. Everything.
So is she interested in competing, or are you interested in having her compete at some point?
Well, we both are. What's so funny about it is she's a girly girl, man. Like a girly girl, man. Like if you didn't see her videos, you would never think or never understand what type of beast she is. Like she'll play with the dolls. And this is all after homework, of course, and after training. She'll play with the
Mm-hmm.
dog, play on the tablet. She'll watch cartoons. Like for right now, she's interested in competing because I ask her every day. I ask her all the time. but
That's
she's only
nice.
7 years old. So you know what I'm saying? She's only 7, so she maybe want to be a princess. She maybe want to be the president. She may want to be a doctor. So
It'll change in time, right?
it'll change in time, possibly. So I don't force it upon her. I always ask her, and I always ask her why. And her favorite answer is because I want to fight people. And I think that's good enough for right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially somebody that's not gym savvy. It's not like she's in the gym. Her gym is her front room. So, I think that when she opens her mind to the gym environment, maybe she'll want to, her state of mind change, and it'll persuade her more to want to, influence her more to want to pursue what she's doing.
For sure, for sure. And the question I ask is, has she with her expressing that she does want to at some point compete, do you find that the training and conditioning that you have provided to her gives her a higher level of confidence for her age?
Oh, it gives it, as far as what I'm doing with her, absolutely, because to this day, I didn't see any 7-year-old, not even 7-year-old boy, do what she does.
I haven't seen grown men hit pads as hard as she hit the pad.
And again, all praise to the Most High. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. Like, she's a different breed. It's a difference between being real talented and being just born with a gift.
Right,
And
right. It's in you. It can't be on you. It got to be in you.
absolutely. So the way she moves with the blindfold on, it just reminds me of.
I seen that.
Thank you. And then if you notice, she'll drop her hands on purpose to be slick with it.
She getting her Roy Jones on. Getting her Roy Jones on.
Right. She taught me that. She asked to do that, and we got used and immune to doing that. And feeling it. Now she's doing it with the blindfold.
Right.
And what's crazy is that even when we produce that, it's not at her full potential. It's not at her full speed. It's certain things that I don't put on camera. You know what I mean? So without sounding arrogant, I would say this to answer the question.
Yes, sir.
I think that she's prepared, but not full blown prepared, because we still have to go to the gym, and it's still more knowledge and understanding that I have to obtain. Is that far as what we're doing? I always want to be a student of the game instead of just being a conqueror. You know what I mean? You have, in order to be a conqueror, you have to be a student. So it's a lot that I would like to learn, like far as her working on her footwork, her doing more defense that makes sense, because in the ring, you're not going to drop your hands unless you up 10 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
And it's no losing, right, at that point, right?
Exactly. So I to answer that, I would say she should have the best of both worlds, because it's not like I'm a pro trainer or anything, But now
you're just as good as what I've seen, to be honest. Just as good.
Thank you, brother.
And it's not really a matter of the accolades and your titles. It's about the results. It's about the results.
Right.
And you're getting results. I mean, I've even seen videos. You have a son as well, right? He didn't have all. He didn't go to school to become certified for what he did. It was his calling,
Right.
And when it's in your heart, and when it's in your spirit, and when you're blessed, there's no title that a man could give you that is more valuable than the title that you've already been given spiritually. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I agree. Amen to that. I think Serena Williams, the Williams sister's father, was the same, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if he played. Right. Right.
Self-taught.
Right.
So all right. So have any other parents reached out to you to train their children as well at this time?
Oh, so many. I have people from other countries, grown men from other countries that want me to train them. People that barely speak English, they got to look on Google to talk to me.
Translator.
Which is a blessing and a privilege. I don't take it for granted. I'm always humble, and I have a lot of parents to this day that ask me when could I fit them in the schedule, and they ask me what's the rates, and I tell them I do it for nothing. And if they do produce money, just just buy more equipment so that everybody can be prepared.
And at some point, are you planning on putting together some type of program or package where you can start downloading your skill sets into other people, start getting other people trained? Have you thought about putting together a program?
Honestly, man, I was just going with the wind. I was doing this really without a plan. It just came to me, bro. And I'm just what I'm looking forward to doing is just a side teacher helping the young people or helping the adults as much as I can, even if it's without a gym. I just want to give back. You know what I'm saying? And I really didn't have a plan. My plan was to just give back. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't to really build a program or have a facility. But if that comes, then and that's my calling, then that's what I'm all for.
Definitely, and you are definitely achieving, your vision, or you're definitely achieving, the blessing that has been given to you. Because if people are reaching out to you from other countries and you got parents, you are touching lives. You are definitely touching lives. Even I mean, I think I'm glad that I have a platform to highlight what you're doing so other people can see what you're doing, through my community or through my supporters. But if it wasn't for that, I would be just someone who was just inspired watching you as well. Because literally, like I said, when I watched the video, it stopped me in my tracks. Because as a father, as a parent, having a son, having a daughter, I think to myself, at some point, as young and as cuddly and as cute as they are now, they're gonna get to a certain point where they're gonna go out into the world and they will be tested.
Absolutely.
They will be challenged, and you won't be there every single time to rescue them,
Right.
as the superheroes that we like to be as dads. So
Right.
the best thing that we can do is to download, into our children from us what we know, what we have, and elevate them. And that's exactly what you did. So when I was watching you, man, I was sitting on my, like, it probably was like 2 o'clock in the morning one night, and I was just sitting there and the hairs were standing up on my skin. I said, this right here, this is what the children need right now.
Right.
They're not being stimulated, educationally right now on a high level. There's not really a lot of things that are geared towards the youth right now, outside of keeping their face in a screen all day long, keeping them on the internet. Things That's not how we grew up. We grew up interacting with people, having
Right.
experiences, going outside, getting dirty, getting banged up. These kids are missing out on a lot of that. So what you're doing is important, because the
Absolutely.
physicality, the physical aspect is also important. Like I like to say, and I want you to I don't want to talk too long. I want to get back to speaking about what you're doing and what you're building. But I used to have this saying, because I've always hung out with dudes much older than myself, even when I was a young cat, right? And one of the things that we discussed was why nowadays, like, if you fight somebody, why they come back with a gun and when they want to shoot everybody, right?
Right.
Well, what we have found is that when coming up in my household, we got spankings, we got punishment. We were physically reprimanded. Like my mother, if I got disrespectful with my mother, the taste would have got slapped out of my mouth. You know,
Absolutely.
when I
Come
got
from
out
that.
into right, we come from that era. But when I went out in the streets, I knew that there was a certain level of respect that I had to give people. I couldn't just do and say any old thing that I wanted to do. So what I find is that nowadays we live in a time where parents are more friends, more hangout partners to their children.
Right.
So when they get out in the streets and they get punched in the face and they never been punched in the face before, they lose their mind. They got to come back and kill everybody. As opposed to, we grew up like that. So it wasn't abnormal for us. But when you grew up in a time where You know, no one can't say anything to you. You know, like people, the neighbors don't even want you talking to their kids, telling them that's wrong, or you know,
Absolutely.
that's what causes them to not. That's what causes them to not be able to deal with um altercations properly. You know, and that was just my whole point. You know, like we what you're doing is that you're giving her a little taste of that old school. You know, where you're not just keeping her in a bubble. You know.
Right. And I appreciate that. And everything you say, I agree on. You know, we live in the house, but I train her like she came from my projects. I
Uh-huh.
what I install on her is the real world, and you know, some parents are gonna be, excuse my language, pissed off with me when I say this, but it's a whole different generation of parenting, man. A lot of us are cowards. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all are so busy, you know, you
Talk on
so
it.
busy, like you so busy with the lack of communication, the lack of knowledge for what makes sense to produce a champion in your own child, man. Meaning, when it's time to get punished, it's time to get punished. It shouldn't be a slap on the hand. It should be a slap on the ass. Because if you're not schooling your child to the real world, he'll wind up or she'll wind up getting lost in the real world. And that comes
Mm.
with death. That comes with being paralyzed. That comes with imprisonment. That comes with them turning on
Diseases,
you.
broken homes. Yeah.
Right. Homes and them even turning on the parents. You know what I'm saying? We're in the era where, you know, like you said, the parents are the children's friends, but which is okay to a degree. But you know,
Yes.
I couldn't even come home with a C or D on my report card, even though I got plenty of F's. You know what I mean? Because I know that my summer will be snatched away from me. They'll let me chill all winter, but my summer will be snatched away, even if I produce A's later on in a
Mm.
different market. Because they'll
Mm.
remind me that what you did in the past catches up to you in your future.
Mm.
So, so, nowadays the parents are those that produce the guns in the streets more than the parents that are under the roof. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying?
Mm.
It's no more if the parent smokes weed, tell a kid to go in another room. They do it right in front of them, or they drink right in front of them. So there's a lot of lost parents, there's a lot of cowards, there's a lot of people, a lot of parents that choose to leave and abandon their child. There's a lot of parents that choose to hold their children hostage towards one parent that wants to be there in their child's life. And it happens to every ethnicity. But it seems like it always happens to our people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so I'm one of these parents. This is how real I'm gonna get, right?
Let's do it.
With my daughter or my son, I teach them the ropes about gang banging, about living a fast life. You know, well, really, my daughter, because I'm going through it with my son's mother right now. So, well, as my daughter, I always explain to her mother that if my son or my daughter was to join the gang and something was to happen to him, as foul as this sounds, I'm not searching for justice because I gave him the blueprint. You
Mm.
understand? And I'm not
Mm.
searching for vengeance because I gave him the blueprint.
And he
And the
chose to
blueprint,
align himself with death.
absolutely. And the lifestyle that you chose could get me and his mother or her mother into a jam. Whereas though
Everybody
if
wiped out.
right, whereas though if you're recruited into a situation like that and they want your loyalty and they want you not to break the oath, you have to kill your parent. You have to kill your brother. You have to kill your sister. You have to kill your cousin. These are the ins and outs of this. So I'm tough on my daughter, even though she's a princess, or I call her a queen. I don't treat her like a princess. I treat her like a queen. And I let her know. I allow her to know. Anytime she even gets an attitude, I'm like, oh, you that tough? Let me take you down to the projects. Whereas though they know you box, so they're not gonna shoot you a fade. They'll jump you. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to see
Mm-hmm.
beat up 10, 20 kids. You know what I'm saying? And that always brings to the
They got pent up aggression and
back
anger.
down to reality. Right. So like you said, I go by the old school rules and the old school ever. Whereas though, like I'm like the big mama, big papa in the crib. Like I won't take a short from my child because that's my child. And I always remind her, like, you fight better than me. So keep your hands to yourself when it comes to you know what I'm saying?
And I was going to ask you that, and I was actually going to ask you that, Nero, along with the conditioning that you have, that you're providing to her, are you also giving the lessons with it? Like, this is for protection. This is not for you to become a bully, or for you to be out here, just using this on everybody, like putting it in a perspective for her.
That's the number one thing I tell her. This is not to rob a bank with. This is not to extort anybody with. This is not to fight for civil rights with. No, man, this is for you to know how to handle your business in any situation under any circumstance. Period.
Right. Because a lot of times,
and it's also not to be a hero either, because you have to mind your business.
Exactly. That's how you stay alive.
Right. If somebody knows you can fight and you want to be a hero, it's like
they just gonna up the ante.
Absolutely. And she can't be a bully with how she, and not to sound arrogant, she cannot try to be a bully at what she's doing at the age of 7. Because nobody's gonna play fair. You won't play fair with her. It's impossible. You can't hit her. I'm really swinging at her, trying to hit her, and she's really moving.
So you're not making it easy for her. She's really just that good.
No, yeah. This not make believe, brother. Like I'm trying to break something when I'm hitting. I'm trying to. Whereas though, not to sound ignorant, we're not playing. We don't play about this because this is a sport that you could die in. So I give it to her early. You understand what I'm saying? I give it to her. Yeah. I give it to her early. I understand that once you get hit, you got to understand. Like it's times that she was hit by mistake, and she went to let that tear come down. And I don't let her be a kid. I let her be a queen. Like I said, she's not a princess, but treat you like a queen. You better not let that tear come down, because your opponent gonna get a taste of blood if you see that. You understand? That gives her the ability to become a killer. At a young age, which is nothing wrong with that if you're producing it to be positive.
Correct. You put as long as it's in a proper perspective.
Absolutely. When she box, when she trains, she thinks about getting mommy that big house. She thinks about not getting hit. She thinks about helping the homeless.
Or being able to protect her daddy, the one who taught her how to do it.
Absolutely, which I save last. I always keep me last. Everything else that I name, she says first. The big house, helping the homeless, helping my people. Daddy makes sure he come last, because daddy don't want for nothing but for her to be the greatest. You understand what I'm saying?
And daddy could take care of himself.
Take care, right? I'm covered by the Most High. She's covered by the Most High. We're covered. So it's my job to always count my blessings, know my blessings, and produce what I'm blessed with to her, and install that in her to be great at anything she puts her mind to, and not to play in life at all about anything unless it's time to play. And it's the only time to play after you earn what you're fighting for. It's the only time we play.
I literally just said this to my daughter last night. Literally just said that to her. She was asking about, we were talking about putting her in a self-defense course as well, and she's like, are they going to give us break time and time to get water and time to hang out? I said, baby girl, you work, you put the work in first, and then comes the break. You put the work in first, then comes the pleasure, then comes the hanging out, but let's not think about the hanging out first. Let's first get the lessons. Let's first learn what we need to learn first, and then all that stuff will come later.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I definitely love the mindset that you're giving your daughter, Malayah, right?
Yeah, Malayah, yes.
Malayah, I love the mindset that you're giving young Malayah. She's gonna be like I shared with you. I showed the video to my mom, and she was all, she because my mother, she loves the youth, so anything that when she sees that is positive and something that's uplifting to the children, it touches her. She's a Virgo. You know what I'm saying? So that's the heart she has. But
your mind for sure. Many blessings.
Shout out to you, Ma. Much love you. See you in about an hour. So we got some good barbecue putting on the grill today. What are your thoughts on the current mental health of children right now, based on what we just discussed?
Um, Overall, or a specific ethnicity,
Well, yeah, just overall, like where we got into, where we are right now in the world. What do you feel like would be very helpful for children right now?
um, well, number one, of course, a relationship with the Most High. Parents to have that relationship with the Most High to produce that to their children. That's number one to me. But everybody's
Mm,
not. Everybody has their own, output on that.
beliefs, yeah.
Right. And so you can't force that upon them. But what I believe a child needs is someone special, intelligent, and encouraging to look up to. I think see the glitz and glamour of what you see on the commercials when you see the smiles. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is when they take the basketball rims down, or when you find a needle or a capsule in the park. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? So I think
mm, mm, mm.
more facilities should be built, and not just urban communities, but everywhere, where as though kids have an outlet to learn how to go pro in basketball, baseball, football, boxing, arts and craft, libraries, computers. But even with these things, it has to be conducted and produced in the correct fashion. Like some people would jump on the computer just to see what new video games coming out, and that's fine. But teach them how to design a game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Teach them that
mm.
it's like the young man that you saw on my page. He came in my room. I'm in my game room right now. I have every system. Right. I'm a big gamer, and
Same.
go. He saw the PlayStation 5 in here. And he said, Could we play? Could we play? I said, Yeah, we could play after you do well. And he was like, Yeah, because I want a PlayStation 5. I said, Man, think big, man. If you do well in anything that you believe in, and you achieve your goal in school, you could own a company
Right,
to outbeat Sony. And I
right.
installed that, and that's not even my son. So I
Mm.
just think that we need correct Jews to produce to our children. And it starts with being intelligent, and it starts with allowing them to know that it's okay to believe that they could conquer anything they want to accomplish in the area. It doesn't matter what it is.
I love that. I love that. It's like one of the videos that you had where you were just finishing up training with your daughter, and you was like, what you want to be? And she was like, I want to be a fighter. You was like, all right, but what else? What else do you want to be? What else do you want to do? Getting in her mind, thinking big. Don't
Right,
think
right,
don't think small of yourself. Don't anything that your imagination can anything you can put together in your mind. We should, in the same vein of what you said, we should be propelling them into the thought process of no matter what you think, you can achieve that on any level. You just got to put the work in. And that's what I find is one of the issues of now is that we're promoting a lazy generation.
right.
We're promoting a generation of laziness, whereas in other episodes I've had, coming from the East Coast, it snows like crazy out there, brother.
Right.
In the middle of a blizzard, we used to get out there with a shovel, and make about $400 or $500 a day shoveling snow. Like
Right.
our drive was there, and I think to myself, well, what is the difference between the generation of our time and this one? And it's because, one of them we discussed the parenting, but another thing, it's, they're not getting that physical stimulation that we got in our time. Like we used to be outside all day long, running around all day long, not coming into the house until later in the evening. I find that the children are not as active as we used to be. And that lack of activity, it works on your mind. Like they say, the mind, idle mind is the playground of the devil. So
Right.
by you keeping her active, by you keeping her in motion, keeping her physically, working on things, I'm pretty sure that is working on her mind. It's not just on her muscles, it's working on her brain as well, because her mind is now saying, you know what, I don't want to just sit and play video games all day long. I want to go out and I want to go do X, Y, and Z. She's thinking of more things to physically do. The more active you are, the more activities you will accomplish. So that's just what I wanted to add to that as well. You kind of hit the nail right on the head. The parents need the children right now more than anything. They need someone. They need leadership. They need leadership more than
Absolutely.
ever. You know.
Right.
What are your thoughts? Do you have any message for fathers who may see your videos and get inspired?
Oh yeah. Um, you know, I always got to start off with, you know, um, keep the Most High first and become better than me.
Okay. And any jewels for the young generation of males who are not yet men? So like when we were younger and making poor decisions, some of those
Right.
decisions
Right. Right. Yes. Right.
and, and,
I'm
and
listening.
some of those decisions, they could have prevented us from being here today. You know,
Absolutely.
what jewels would you pass along to any of those young men who are not young males who are not men yet, so that they can make it?
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna give them to them raw and uncut.
Give it to them raw. That's how they need it.
Look at look at the person that's treated like the outcast in your family, that commits the lowest of the lowest actions to be put in a predicament where as though he is an outcast, where as though he's not trusted, where as though he's disrespected, far as someone that gets high in your family or steals in your family or, just has a bum mentality. Take that and use that as an example, not to become what that is.
Mm.
I
Mm.
think that's one of the best Jews I could give you, because if you act like a bum, you end up being a bum. If you act like a killer, you end up being a killer. If you act like a positive role model, you'll become a positive role model. So take what you see into perspective and know that everything that you decide to experience from somebody else's lifestyle comes with a price. If you make the
Mm.
decision to become what you're influenced by.
Mm. Mm.
That's
That's
what I'm
deep.
saying.
That's
Real.
deep. I really like that. That sounds like something that a OG told me at one time before. He said, perfect example. He had bought some type of car or something like that. Always, like I said, I used to always hang out with much older than myself. He bought a car. I had to have been like 18, 17 at the time. And I was like, how much did you pay for it? And he was like, he looked at me and he smiled and he was like, you never ask a man how much he paid. And he said, you never ask how much a man paid unless you're willing to pay the price.
Mm.
So and I didn't look at, see, I carried things with me throughout my life, things that stuck with me. I don't look at that just in a materialistic aspect. you know
Uh,
you gotta be careful about like the people you align yourself with, and you are like wanting what they want, and you trying to get the watch or get the things that they have, all the little shiny nice little trinkets. You got to ask yourself, are you willing to pay the price? Because everything
mm.
everything
I
everything
have something right.
yeah, everything comes with a price. Now go ahead, Nero.
I had something to add to that. I don't want it to be inappropriate or anything. I don't know if if there's a limit to what I can say.
Raw and uncut, baby, drop it on them.
All right, so perfect example, man. And this is a jewel that I dropped on somebody using imaginary people. I act like it was a real story, but I told somebody um a story about how a guy hated another guy so much that he wanted his revenge through sleeping with his girl. And I mean, like, he would work so hard to affect this man that he hated just by sleeping with his girl. So when the guy found out that the guy he had a problem with wanted to sleep with his girl, the guy that was with the girl influenced the girl and encouraged the girl to sleep with him. So they slept together. He had a hell of a night, not knowing that the girl produced the disease. See that type of game plan?
You gotta be careful what you ask for.
Absolutely. Not knowing that the guy that he hated had a disease. All he wanted was his girl when to live this man's life. It's secret that they had a disease because what you don't know won't hurt you until you experience that. So it might look like all fun, glitz and glamour. You see the Gucci, the Louis, the Fendi on, but you don't know that we dying. Physically.
Don't let that go over your head.
Right. So you trying to get revenge physically and mentally, not knowing that I'm studying you more than you studying me, and I'm gonna let you have what you want, but it come with a price, and that price is your life.
And think about how that what you just said applies to so many situations that go on a day-to-day basis. You know, people who are sitting watching people on Instagram. You sitting watching these people on Instagram, and they got the Christian Dior, and they got the this and the that, the this and the that. But but don't have a happy home to live in. You know, don't have peace in their own house. You know, they scared to go back to their own neighborhood. You know, they got to look over their shoulder because they're cowards. You know, stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's like Paul. Right, go ahead. My apologies, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just saying, and you sit there and you watching them, and you sitting there watching their life, and you coveting what they have so badly that you don't realize that all that they have is materials. They don't have nothing else. There's nothing else in their life except for materials, and that's what most people are chasing. They're chasing the shell of happiness. When if you really, when it comes down to it, you realize that happiness is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. You know, there's nothing that you can obtain. There's no woman you can sleep with. Like, yeah, you can get a temporary high.
Right.
Yeah, you can get a temporary high, but happiness is a deliberate inside job, and there's nothing that you can do to cover up on the outside that feeling that's missing or that void that's lacking that you're lacking on the inside. So I definitely love that. But yeah, what was that? What was that you was going to add to it?
It's like your state of mind is shot out when you look up to somebody that parks a foreign car outside of the projects, and then you go into that man's apartment and you ask for a glass of water, and when you open his refrigerator,
it's roaches and all types of stuff in there.
You hear me good?
I do, yeah, and nothing in it, right?
Right. He got a Bentley parked outside the building too. When you ask for a glass of water, there's nothing in his refrigerator, and that's what you look up to.
Or a 25 a 75 credit score. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know, just has nothing. Just doesn't have his business in order, but he got every toy, everything that you know is like it's fake. It's a facade.
Exactly, and right. And you can hear me good?
I do.
All right. So yeah. So it's like what's the sense of blowing all your money on a car when you go own 2 blocks of real estate of what you just spent?
Self-hate.
You know what I'm saying?
Self-hate. Like I spoke about
self-destruction.
So but see, the self-hate leads to the self-destruction. You know, because we don't we don't love ourselves enough. We got to buy all these things and overcompensate for what's missing and what's lacking. You know, we're trying to cover up, you know, but that is like you said, that's the self-hate that's going to lead to self-destruction. Because if you don't have a knowledge of yourself and you don't have love for yourself, then you will allow anything to come into your life. You will align yourself with anything. You know, you don't place boundaries on what you will allow to come close. And you're just open to anything because you don't have a value of yourself. You buy things that you don't need. You buy things to try to impress people that you don't like. This is all a part of this is all a symptom of self-hate. Because someone who is content with themselves, I don't need to have, I don't need to prove. First of all, someone who's really happy doesn't have to do anything to prove it to the world. They just happy.
Right.
When you go home and
Absolutely.
you really got, like how in your house, you got a nickname for your lady, and and y'all got y'all vibe, and you got 4-9, and you got Malayah, and she's working on becoming the next champion, and you got shit things that you're working and building. You have happiness in your life,
Right.
so you don't have to get on there and try to sell the idea of happiness when you actually have it.
Right. I live it. I
You
live it.
live it. So when you see somebody
Right.
trying to sell you a vision of happiness, that's how you know it's BS anyway.
Of course, because what's funny is I could see somebody on Instagram go to a club, which is nothing wrong with it, and they could blow a bag in the club and have a ball. But I could show you my house and do the same thing with my girl. You know what I'm saying? Who if made a decision, wanted to work in the club, you'll be throwing money on her. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just blessed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Correct.
I turn my household into the movie. You know what I mean? Whereas
Mm,
though it's more safe, whereas though it's people I know, people I love. I'm not gonna
mm,
be with a bunch of people that's pocket watching. You know what
right.
I mean? So like, yeah, like if you're gonna pocket watch me, it's gonna be on Instagram. I'm not gonna be around 10, 20 guys that I know are not, or that I'm not sure is happy with my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And
I
and, and,
do.
and trusting with my life out in the club.
I agree. And not only that, but then why would you want to hang out with people and that why do you want to wear clothes? Why would you want to spend money on an outfit, spend money on bottles to hang around a bunch of men or around a bunch
Right,
of
right,
women?
right,
I don't
right.
understand it. I don't understand it. Then not only that, but whatever money that you was going to spend at the spot, how much more fun could you have had with the people that do actually love you?
Exactly. And that's why I have a game room. You know what I mean? It's like everything that I spend my money on is around me. You understand what I'm saying?
I do,
Everything that
100.
I spend my money on, right? I own it. You know what I'm saying? I have an arcade in here. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less like um that's why I create my own movie. Like you said, with 4-9, I create my own movie. Like when I'm doing what I'm doing, it looks like I'm at a spot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not immature on the immature level, but it's like when you see how I put the camera, how to move the camera. If you see me doing the dream team thing with her, and I'm in there with her, and I show a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah,
it's
she be dancing and you be having the camera and whatnot, and like it's like
right.
you would think that y'all out somewhere, right?
Exactly. When it's just in the front room and it's dim, it's just the light is dim, and the music is in the background. That's all it is. It's basically what I would do with somebody that I don't know. I'd rather do with somebody that I love and that love me.
And that makes sense to me 100%. So I'm gonna end it on this last question. What would be any jewels for any young queens in training? So if
Oh,
so,
as far as
so
boxing,
if, no, anything, because you are a man of respect, and you value the youth, you've made a substantial investment into your daughter. So any young Malayas that's out there, who they're like they don't have the confidence that your daughter has right now, or they just need to have that strong male figure voice give them a message. What would your message be to any of the young queens that are in training right now?
I always start off again. Build a relationship with the Most High. Aside that, know your worth, know that you're important, know that you're beautiful, know that your value is out of this world, know that you matter, know that you count, know that what a man produces is very important, but that every woman can move the world in the way that a man can't. It,
I,
it, it,
I
it,
agree.
it's it takes two to make a baby, but a man doesn't carry a baby in the stomach. Um, Always know that y'all are blessed to have the ability to mature faster than a lot of men around you, and always know that you know. Always think for the worst when the man wants you. Always think for the worst, because the number one thing that a man wants is we know. You know what I'm saying? We know what a man wants. So never let a man fool you. Never let a man put his hands on you.
Mm,
Never
mm,
let a man never let a man brainwash you into telling you that the reason why he puts his hands on you is because he loves you. It
mm,
don't make sense. All it
don't
takes
add up.
right. All it takes is one hit to put you in critical condition or to take your life. And last but not least, always respect yourself, as if you will be penalized if you don't. Always know that
Mm.
disrespecting yourself comes with an ultimate price. And or love to all the females.
Much love to all the women out there. That was very strong. Man, Nero. Would you be so kind to if you got it in you, drop one of them verses on us before we leave?
Yeah, I could give you something like let me see where I could go with it. I said, I looked my daughter in the eyes and let her know she could turn water into wine. Hold on. I got you. I said, yo, we ain't for the media coverage. Your ops act polite when you see him in public. Beloved, finishing school when the beginning was cool. I'm in the Cinnamon Fox, the fly women approve. The leading score with me in the paddle blue Buick. I hit your whole block with a signature move. Kingpin dreams while you want parole. Fully loaded pole promoting the cold. It's cold. You sow your soul to the stove while the bird bubble. And the devil celebrating on the turnbuckle. I'm the one you convince. I lit funny with the mop stick under the trench. We could double and flip. Every key is Colombian. The plug is Scottish. She can move in the French. Pipe bomb
Woo!
disguised as a gift. So get your body on the ground while you stiff. Your man hold a grip on nervous. The whole hood looks sweet if you miss on purpose. Set the bar high. You might put your name on the ball head. Play it sweet. You might score a killer. I treat the beat like the psych ward. Nero. It's like, baby, real life, real life.
Light, something light. This has
Appreciate
been
it.
This has been the king, the father, the coach. This is none other than the legend Nero himself. If you not
Yes,
have not heard of him before, go follow this man, Nero CKP on Instagram. This is where you can view all of the inspirational of footage of him with his daughter. If you haven't heard any of his battles, SoundCloud. Matter of fact, let them know where they can find you at.
yeah. Right now, definitely, just Nero CKP. I'm on Instagram. If you want to check out, I have real old freestyles. You could check out the SoundCloud is Frank Nero on SoundCloud.com. It's not too many new joints that I have, but I have something in the works. And but really mainly you can catch me on Instagram, Nero CKP. And just expect the real. I come as me all the time. all the time.
I
I don't
want to
for nothing.
give a disclaimer. If you think that you about to go and hear somebody with some kumbaya, one fish, two fish, bubble gum drop, this is that's not our brother's message here. You know, even though
Right.
he is a positive brother, he is a very assertive and strong minded brother. You know,
Yeah.
so he's not going to pull any punches, and he's going to give it to you raw, uncut, and unfiltered, but with love.
Absolutely.
But
But with
with love.
absolutely. And I like how we conducted ourselves on your podcast because this wasn't even the tip of the iceberg.
It really
And
was.
right. And I wanna give a shout out to you for what you do as a black, beautiful king, as an intelligent king, because you
Thank
gave
you.
an opportunity to allow me to be on your platform, and you believed in me, and and, and I believe you
You started cutting out at the last end, brother.
can hear me, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, now you can hear me better.
The last thing I heard was appreciate for bringing on the show and then it started cutting out.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you for the work that you produce. I appreciate your attitude, your personality, you being down to earth, you being real, you being intelligent. I want to give a shout out to you and your podcast and your family and those that you love around you, because we need more brothers like you. And thank you for believing in me. And I believe in you as well. And it's gonna be more to come about
Agreed.
different topics and subjects. And I just pray that you keep going forward, keep being powerful. We had an excellent conversation yesterday that was rarely raw and uncut. And you know, I look up to you, and I'm inspired by you as well. It works. It
Appreciate that,
works,
brother.
and definitely is a different side of the coin to me. Just getting my flowers. I have to give you your flowers in return, and I will always do so. And we just family from a distance, bro. So anytime I could help out, respect. Anytime I could help out or produce any type of lecture, conversation, or whatever the case is, support, I'm here anytime, any place. Whether I'm late or whether I missed the call, I'll holler at you. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. And you know what? I appreciate you for speaking on those things. And I want to say this, you know, in the future, just a glimpse. In the future, I do plan on putting together a mentorship program. You know,
Right.
you know, I would definitely love to connect with you on that. You know, because you would be very monumental in adding you know, your element would be very helpful into what we're trying to do. But yeah, brother, thank you so much. Because you know, it's not usual where we able to interact like this. You know,
Right.
it's always egos, aggression. You know, you know, always something that gets in between what we're doing here, which is this is how it's supposed to be. So I brother, I have much love to you and your family as well. Much respect to the direction that you're leading your family in. Very honorable. You know, I'll definitely tip my hat to any men or any men of color who has taken the time to really dig deep and figure out what his purpose is, you know, in the grand scheme of things, you know, because I have this saying, before a male becomes a man, when you're a boy, you only know how to destroy, but when a male becomes a man, he learns how to build.
Right. Absolutely.
You understand? So at this stage of the game, we're about building right now. We did destroying. We already did all the breaking up and the you know, the things of the process and the actions that cause division and separation and things like that. At this stage of the game, it's all about building. You know,
Right.
so I appreciate those flowers, brother, and I intend on, to blossom that much more. I want to thank you so much for your time. I look forward to having you on in the future again. Because Malayah is about to hit more milestones, and Nero got other things going, and I'm pretty sure 4-9 got some fire shit that she got coming on the way as well. You guys are a the dream team.
Yes, sir.
Much respect to the dream team.
Thank you. And much respect to the dream team back. You know what I mean? You have a
Yes,
dream
sir.
team as well, brother. It works both ways, man. For
I do
sure.
it. I do it likewise. So this has been Nero, your boy B. This has been Outside the Box, episode 9. Out.
Out, brother. I'm gonna hit your phone. Out.
Do that. Peace.